to this 10th video in this Managing Stress Q&A series. If you would like to submit a question to this series, you can go to aliceboys.com, subscribe to my email list, and just reply to any of the emails that you get with your question. Alright, so let's take some questions for today. Alright, so this is from Paige. She says, hi Dr. Boys, I have a question about how to handle stress and anxiety over a loved one's scary medical diagnosis. My sister, whom I love dearly, just learned she has breast cancer. We don't know how serious or advanced it may be, and anxiety is overwhelming. I may be more worried than she is. Any help with how to cope? Alright, so the way I handle it when things like that happen, so where you know something bad has happened, but you don't really know the extent of it, right? So you don't know how temporary that bad thing will be, or what the kind of full implications will be. So some other examples might be like, let's say you've applied for a course that you want to do, and you find out you didn't get in, right? You don't know if that means you're never going to get in, or if it just means you didn't get in like that year or that semester and you need to reapply, anything like that. There are lots of other life scenarios where you get some news that something bad has happened, but you don't really know the full extent of it. So what I do in those situations is to, stomach's grumbling, is to think about what has changed from like yesterday to today, and even though you're expecting that something might change in the future, when you're just at this kind of uncertain stage, you don't nothing really has happened yet. So you might be thinking, in the future I'm going to have to deal with seeing my sister go through chemo, or seeing my sister be really unwell, or those kinds of things. But none of that has actually happened yet. You're not having to deal with that right now, and you don't need to pre-deal with any of that, because you can absolutely feel confident that whatever comes up, you will have some good coping skills for dealing with it at the time. So people tend to underestimate how well especially anxious people, how well they will cope when actual bad things happen. So all of those things you can deal with, so if and when they occur. What you want to think about is all of the things that you did yesterday that helped give you a sense of safety and routine and comfort in your life. Like it might have been, a TV program that you like to watch, or it might have been taking a bath, or exercising, or cooking, or whatever routines give you comfort and joy. Like it might be like if you've got a little kid, like having like a tickle cuddle with them, or if you've got grandkids, like reading them stories or giving them piggybacks, or whatever it is. Whatever things that you did that helped give you that sense of groundedness and stability and all of that in your life, all of that stuff is still accessible to you, right? So you've got to say, well, what has really changed today? Like another example might be like, let's say, it's an election night, and you've got a candidate and it looks like they're losing, right? Nothing, you might be worried like all these things, if the other person gets elected, all these terrible things are going to happen. But the things that you're worried about are going to happen in the future. It's not stuff that you're worried is going to happen like right this second in most cases. So in that case, you can, as I said, just lean on all of the things that already give you comfort, already give you stability. And I use that a lot. I use that very consistently to deal with those kinds of situations where something bad has happened, but the extent of it isn't clear. Alright, let's take one more. Alright, so this is from Lisa, and Lisa says, I have trouble calming my mind. For example, I want to try to meditate, but I can't slow my mind down enough to get anywhere with it. It's almost like I'm sabotaging myself. I'm 51 and this has always been an issue for me. I usually use TV as an escape. What can you recommend? Okay, so I would say there are lots of ways to reduce stress that aren't meditation, right? But it sounds like you kind of are interested in something in that sphere. Okay, so there are things that are a lot easier than a traditional meditation. One of the things I recommend is every time that you go to the bathroom, take like 4 to 6 slow breaths. Okay, so this is something that's sort of like easier for women than men, because you're kind of like sitting down and you sort of like you can you're accustomed to slowing down a little bit more when you go to the bathroom, and just don't worry about the breath in. So this is how I recommend people do slow breathing. Don't worry about the breath in. Just worry about the breath out, and make it just slow, and get all of your breath out like this. So just you want to round your lips almost like you're blowing up a balloon, but not like you're sort of not as forceful as if you're blowing up a balloon. You want to just do it slow and steady, and you'll feel like when all of that air has been expelled. And when you do that, your breath in will regulate itself. And there's some evidence that just doing 4 to 6 slow breaths is enough to sort of change things around physiologically for you. If you don't like the idea of doing it when you go to the bathroom, like, the reason for suggesting that is that you want to pick when you want to have a new behavioural habit, you want to link it to a situation, right? You want to link it to a cue, and that's a cue obviously we do several times a day. There might be another cue that maybe you do once a day or twice a day or whatever that could be a better fit for you, but it has to be something where you sort of slow down and pause, where it's not conducive to you rushing through it, because you don't want to pick a cue where you're already kind of rushing. And yeah, just do 4 to 6 slow breaths at that time. Another thing that you can do is just try like using like your Google Assistant or whatever voice assistant you like, to ask it to play some soothing sounds. Just do like a minute or 2 minutes of that. Lie in your bedroom with with all the lights out, and just listen to like songs of the forest or songs of a crackling fire or whatever it is, for like 1 to 2 minutes, like not 5 to 10 minutes, just 1 to 2 minutes. And the other thing that I really like is, again, like turn the lights out, lie on your bed. Initially, just like get grounded, like just notice any thoughts that any sensations that are coming up for you about lying down there, right? What does it feel like to be in contact with the bed? Which bits of you feel cool? Which bits of you feel warm? Which bits of your skin are exposed to air? All of that kind of thing. If you get like an itch or something, it's fine. It's like, okay, I've got an itch, and you can scratch the itch or whatever it is. But just notice anything that's coming up that's about your sort of physical being, and how you are inside your physical being in the world at that time. And then what you can do is just run. So you do that for like 30 seconds or so to get grounded. Then you can run, or maybe a minute or so, whatever it is that you need. Then you run through some parts of your body where you tend to hold tension, okay? And you might pick like 3 parts or 6 parts or whatever it is, and just gradually go through those and release off the tension in those parts. Like it could be like in your sort of eyebrows, where you just go, I'm just going to concentrate for a second on relaxing my eyebrows. And you'll naturally do like some slow breathing while you're doing that. And then maybe you move to your jaw and think, I'm just gonna concentrate on letting go of the tension in my jaw, and pick whatever shoulders, neck, ankles, whatever part of your body that you tend to hold your tension in. If that's hard for you, you can do like tensing or relaxing to see the contrast. So like, all right, I'm gonna tense up my fists, and I'm gonna notice what it feels like for them to be tense, and then I'm gonna unclench them and notice what it feels like for them to feel relaxed. Okay, so sometimes if you're not that good at, not that practiced at relaxing a part off, you need to scrunch it and then relax it. So I always find that like meditation apps and stuff, the meditations they go way too fast. Like they give the instruction and you're just taking in the instruction and trying to like learn what to do before they're like onto the next thing. So I would say, yeah, just pick again like just a little something to get grounded, and then pick even 3 body parts where you tend to hold tension and go through those. Was there one more? No, I think yeah, try those, and or pick one of those, not all of them. Pick one of those tips that seems like, oh, I know what it was. Actually, I do know what the other thing I was going to say was. If you another thing would be like just something like putting lotion on your on some part of your body, like your feet, or rubbing lotion into your hands. Like sit kind of like in the dark in your bedroom, and just notice those sensations. Like when you are in the dark, it obviously, like when you don't have that visual, it will allow you to pay more attention to other senses. So you'll be able to pay more attention to like the feeling sense, right? So, and just feel what it feels like to rub some lotion in. That's actually one that I've been doing a bit lately. So I really cycle through stress reduction things. Like what that is something I'm really liking at the moment. But ask me in a week or two, and like I won't be in that phase anymore. And so that's completely fine to do that as well, because that's how I do it. So yeah, I actually am rubbing lotion into my feet at the moment, and I really look forward to like that sensation of like between my toes and all of that kind of thing. But I'll get bored with that soon enough. So if you pick something like that, and what you need at a particular time in your life will really depend on like what's going on for you, like what feels the most nourishing, and what feels kind of worth the effort to do. Will depend on where you are, but that gives you a few different options that you can try for that. Actually, there's even like another one. Like even one would be like looking out a window and just looking, for 2 minutes, like looking out a window and seeing what you see. Just allowing yourself to see what you see looking out a window, or hear what you hear, just in your own house. Like just for a minute. You don't it doesn't have to be a formal meditation. I would say take it way down. Like don't even try and do 5-minute meditations. Do like 1 or 2 minute meditations, and get started with that. But you also like if meditation really isn't your thing, there are lots of other ways that you can learn to slow down your mind, or learn to train yourself to think less negatively, or whatever it is. But if you want to try to find something that works for you in that family of things, then you can try any of those things that I gave you ideas for. All right, cool. Thank you. I'm still having some problems with my camera cutting out, so like I'm going a little bit fast to try and make sure I get this whole thing recorded. So hopefully, I will go and check that now, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good day, everyone.